Welcome to the first bulletin of the week that was, TIOL's News Roundup. The week took off with the annual two-day conference of Chief Commissioners and Directors General of Customs, Central Excise and Service Tax. The focus was on simplification of long-winded procedures, taxpayers' services, ease of doing business, promoting trade, India's preparedness for a goods and services tax, and of course, discussion of a range of strategies for achievement of revenue targets. Mr. Najib Shah, Chairman, Central Board of Excise and Customs, spoke about the measures taken by the department.
A Directorate of GST is being created in Delhi to support the board. The Directorate of Systems of the CBC, which is engaged in the GST processes, will need to be strengthened. Ease of doing business, thus, is the goal of the department. We have also created a Directorate of Taxpayers Services in this regard to focus on taxpayers' outreach and more effective communication and response system. Similarly, a Directorate of Performance Management to closely monitor the functions of the field formations is also being created.
The Finance Minister, Mr. Arun Jaitley, who inaugurated the conference and the newly revamped CBEC website, complimented the department for the creation of 3 new directorates and the robust growth in indirect tax collections so far.
The indirect revenue figures are up by more than 37%. And if the additional revenue measures this year are excluded, and a year-to-year comparison is made, you are still up by about 14.6%. This 14.6% over last year, even if we exclude all the additional revenue measures, is the most realistic estimate we have.
The Finance Minister also cautioned the department about its preparedness for GST, which is sooner or later going to see the light of day.
GST is rightly believed to be one of the most monumental tax reforms in India because its impact across is going to be extremely friendly to the economy, to the businesses. Sooner than later, the Constitution Amendment should see the light of the day.
Among others, the Revenue Secretary, Mr. Shaktikanta Das, also addressed the conference. His message to the department was clear: do what you need, but improve the service tax collection by more than 20%.
Target that is ahead of us is very much achievable and we have to achieve it. A major challenge ahead of us this year, we have to achieve our targets, do the collections, focus on improving taxpayer services.
For a deeper insight into the signals from the conference, let's hear TIOL's founder editor, Mr. Shailendra Kumar. Mr. Kumar, you have been keenly watching this conference over several years. How is it different from earlier years? And what has been the most pertinent takeaway from this conference?
Thank you, Asha. There were several pleasant and noteworthy changes in this year's format of the conference. First, the CBEC, for the first time, organized a live webcast of the conference, which was watched by thousands of viewers across the country. This clearly indicates a new era of transparency by the board. Second, the Minister of the State, Mr. Jayant Sinha, conducted a town hall discussion with the senior officers who made several observations and also suggestions how to improve the image and the working of the department. Third, there was right focus on right issues such as ease of doing business, capacity building, and taxpayer services. Fourth, the board also invited one of the business chambers to share its findings of a survey on users' perceptions about the department. And I have come to know that apart from certain predictable perceptions, the trade industry is not all that unhappy with the IT efforts of the department. To top it all, there were detailed presentation on GST and GST network. The senior officers from the field formations were given a exhaustive brief about the homework done so far and what would be the future shape of the commissionerates, divisions and the ranges when the GST is finally rolled out.
But what is your gut feeling on this? Is GST going to be able to catch the April 1st, 2016 deadline?
Yes, Asa, I wish I could share Mr. Jaitley's optimism, but if I do it, it would be too unrealistic as well as unfair, not only to the trade industry, which needs a minimum time frame of 12 months to prepare itself after the draft model GST law is made public, but also the department and the state VAT authorities who are hugely ill prepared for such a game changer reform.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar, for sharing your thoughts with us. While on the subject of Chief Commissioners, we recently received a simple query from a netizen. The answer, however, required plumbing the depths of bureaucracy. The question was simple. How many Chief Commissioners are there in the Central Board of Excise and Customs today? After cadre restructuring in December 2013, there were 52 posts of Chief Commissioners, including 14 Principal Chief Commissioners. But going by the seniority list of Chief Commissioners as published by the CBEC earlier this month, there are only 14 Chief Commissioners, out of which 2 have retired and 6 are promoted as board members. This means, as per the list, CBEC has only 6 Chief Commissioners. Clearly, even CBEC feels the heat of the dearth because just last week the board made several principal commissioners hold additional charge of the posts of chief commissioners. The message is clear. The CBEC needs to speedily implement the proposals of cadre review so that even consequential vacancies could be filled up by promoting officers who have been waiting for too long.
Consequent to the cadre restructuring, we have several vacancies now across the cadres, and we would need your support, sir, again for filling up these vacancies.
Speaking of shortages brings us to the onion famine facing the country. Onion prices are today higher than petrol. The government has formulated a three-pronged Trishul strategy to curb soaring onion prices through anti-hoarding measures, onion import, and export price hike. A raid against onion hoarders in Chhattisgarh this week yielded 636 quintals of onions valued at Rs 30 lakh. The government has also imported this vegetable, and the first batch of 18 truckloads of onions arrived in Delhi this week from Afghanistan. Traders also informed us that about 50 containers of onions are expected to arrive in Mumbai from Egypt. We have had to import Egyptian onions even though the taste is not as tangy as our local ones. The state-owned MMTC is also importing about 1,000 tons of onions at USD 685 per ton or Rs 45 per kg from a Singapore-based company, Cross Trade Line, which is expected to arrive in India by September 10, 2015, after which it shall be provided to states as per requirement. The government has also curbed onion export by increasing the minimum export prices from USD 425 to USD 700 FOB per metric ton. As every action has an equal and opposite reaction, India's price hike has hit Bangladesh, which saw an immediate jump in the onion prices. So, we have our eastern neighbor sharing our tears with us. Besides onions, the yellow metal has a powerful hold on a lady's heart. We know gold smuggling has been on the rise ever since the hike in import duty in 2013. But some of the unimaginative tactics by smugglers simply reveal their desperation. There were 4 hauls of gold from airports and land routes this week. 2 of these hauls were at Calcutta Airport. But the modus operandi of these smugglers was quite archaic, with an exception. The first haul was recovered during the course of rummaging of the Thai Airways flight from Bangkok at Calcutta Airport. 2 heavy rectangular packets were found in the waste bin of the lavatory, which contained 4 gold bars weighing 1 kilogram each and valued at more than Rs 1 crore. In the second case, gold bars worth Rs 81 lakh were seized from a Nepalese passenger. The third case of gold smuggling was definitely more inspired and inventive. 2 passengers arrived on an Emirates flight from Dubai to Hyderabad and opted to pass through the Green Channel. But the trained eyeballs of the customs officer could see their nervousness that led to the recovery of gold powder, ingeniously mixed with a chemical compound made in the shape of insoles concealed in the shoes worn by these passengers, who admitted the offence. The total value of the gold was rupees 88 lakh. And the fourth haul was by the Shillong Customs, which made 2 cases of gold seizures worth rupees 40 lakhs and 2 persons were arrested. After gold, can black money be far behind? The government, serious as it is about cutting off the outflow of black money overseas, has signed an information exchange agreement with the tiny island nation of Seychelles for curbing tax evasion. This tiny country in the Indian Ocean is one of the preferred cross-border havens for Indian black money. The pact will enable the department to bring down the axe on tax evaders. Connected with black money is an important legal stipulation. Thou shalt neither give nor receive in cash a loan more than rupees 20,000. Otherwise, a steep penalty equal to the cash amount may be imposed. This law under section 269 SS and 271D of the Income Tax Act has an exception clause under section 273B, which was recently put to the test on a high-profile member of parliament, Ms. Dimple Yadav, who is also the wife of Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav. Mrs. Yadav possessed leasehold rights over Nazul land. To convert this land into freehold property in joint names with her husband, she had taken in cash an unsecured loan from the Samajwadi Party, which was deposited into their joint bank account. The loan was subsequently returned. Before the Allahabad High Court, the question was whether Dimple Yadav's cash transaction was covered under the exception of section 273B. The High Court upheld the tribunal's order in her favour that it was a genuine loan, duly reflected in the books of account, and the cash was deposited into a bank account and thereafter used for conversion. We have another interesting case from the High Courts. Is an assessee entitled to any interest on interest due on indirect tax refunds? Considering the difficulty in even getting a refund on indirect taxes, most assessees do not crave for the interest. However, the Karnataka High Court has just 2 days ago ordered revenue to pay interest on the interest payable following 17 long years of litigation. Let's go to Maneet for the case in brief.
The case was simple. An importer had paid customs duty even though he was eligible for an exemption. His refund claim was rejected, but the tribunal allowed the claim, holding that it was not hit by the principles of unjust enrichment. The revenue lost the case before the High Court and even the Supreme Court. The department sanctioned the refund, but the importer filed claim for interest on the refund due, which was rejected. The tribunal allowed the refund with interest. Revenue again appealed before the High Court, which came down heavily on the revenue and also awarded assessee an additional interest of 9% on the interest due on the refund.
We salute the persistence of this assessee. For all those upset with the levy of service tax on ordering restaurant food, there is some relief. The Deputy Commissioner of Central Excise and Service Tax Division in Chandigarh has clarified to a restaurant that the pickup or home delivery of food sold by the restaurant is in the nature of sale and not service, because the food is not being served in the restaurant, and further no other element of service like ambience, air conditioning, live entertainment or personalized hospitality is offered. Hence, pickup or home delivery of food being a transaction of sale is not liable for service tax, provided the delivery of food is free. Taxpayers now need not come to Delhi to file their appeals. The Sestat has issued a circular to the effect that from September 1, 2015, all appeals and applications from taxpayers in Uttar Pradesh shall be filed in the Office of the Commissioner of Central Excise, Allahabad. This circular has been issued as per the directions of the Allahabad High Court on August 20th, 2015. And now for some international news. Even as the world seeks to save the Asian and African elephants from human avarice, a huge haul of 620 kilograms of ivory worth 1.3 million US dollars was seized last month from 5 different smugglers transiting through Dubai International Airport. All 5 were from African countries. This was the second haul of ivory by Dubai Airport this year, which had earlier seized more than 300 kilograms of raw ivory. Between 2011 and 2014, Dubai Customs has made more than 1,500 ivory seizures. These officers are specifically trained to handle the illicit ivory trade through specialized workshop organized by the Ministry of Environment and Water in Dubai. Another popular illicit substance is cocaine. Hong Kong Customs recently seized a parcel arriving from Brazil which contained 2 plastic bottles declared to contain massage oil. Suspicious authorities at Hong Kong's International Airport found instead that these bottles contained 760 grams of liquid cocaine valued at 800,000 US dollars. The Hong Kong man expecting the delivery of the parcel received handcuffs instead. Finally, with just 3 days left for filing tax returns, the Income Tax Department is strongly nudging taxpayers to e-file their returns. The department has set up kiosks at the Civic Centre in Delhi to help taxpayers to do so. This was inaugurated by CBDT chairperson Ms. Anita Kapoor last Monday. The department has also issued instructions recently informing taxpayers of the electronic verification facility being offered just by linking up your Aadhaar card with your PAN or even by logging into your net banking account and being redirected to your e-filing account. The department has also dangled the proverbial carrot of quicker refunds before taxpayers, informing them that it had already issued nearly 6.5 lakh refunds for assessment year 2015-16, where taxpayers had opted for e-verification. So pull up your socks and do your duty. It is simple, easy and convenient. So happy refunds! On this note, we conclude our first episode of the week that was, a TIOL news roundup. Please do write to us your comments, counsel, criticism and even news at editor@tiol.in. You may also subscribe to TIOL Tube to remain updated on new posts. Have a blessed weekend.